Movie stars teaming up with Helium to bring decentralized wireless coverage to over 2 million subscribers in Mexico, cutting costs and expanding connectivity. Joining us to discuss this innovative partnership is Mario Didio, GM of Network at Helium, and Cesar Hernandez Perez, Digital Portfolio Manager at Telefónica, on this episode of Taking Stock. Let's start with you, Cesar. What makes Helium Network an attractive solution for movie star in Mexico?
Telefónica is a global service provider with operations in 11 countries, running operations, and with commercial service offered in more than 40 countries. In the case of Mexico, we are a light telco there, meaning that we don't really have access assets anymore, and we basically roam into other operators' network in order to provide the mobile data service to the end users. When we discovered Helium, we thought it would be a great opportunity to include that network into our portfolio to continue coping with customer demands with regards to data traffic in an efficient way.
And Mario, how does this partnership improve connectivity for movie star subscribers?
What happens when Helium hotspot will be deployed in Mexico, then they act, we call them like a mini cell tower. So effectively, when a movie star subscriber will be in the proximity of one of the Helium hotspots, will be automatically connect, and this will bring better coverage, better user experience, and more cost efficiency for the operator that partners with Helium, in this case, Telefónica Movistar.
And Cesar, what were the key takeaways from the pilot project in Mexico City?
So this project took us around 3 years since the time we started working with Helium. So all around the project, we have been testing different things with regards to technology and ways to which make the service active seamlessly for end users. What we have done in Mexico until this point is basically test everything, first on a lab basis and then on a field, to make sure that the quality of service is good, the access from the SIM cards into the Wi-Fi hotspots work smoothly. And at the end of the day, the service basically fits its purpose, which is to be able to offload mobile data traffic in a continuous way for our users.
And Mario, how does Helium's decentralized model reduce infrastructure costs for carriers?
Well, when you think of a traditional telco model, you think of like this very expensive cell towers with expensive operation and maintenance costs. So with Helium instead is a community power, community built network, which means that the hotspots are deployed by everybody, by everyday people like me and you, like coffee shop owners and restaurants owners. So in this case, it is pretty clear that that model reduces the cost to serve and infrastructure cost for carriers while increasing the quality of experience for the users. And that's what the decentralized model that we are doing already in the US with our own Helium mobile carrier and other US carriers they were partnering with. Now we're expanding in Mexico for the benefit of Movistar customers.
Cesar, what role will Helium mobile hotspots play in expanding network coverage?
For operators like Telefónica, this project represents a major step towards democratization of wireless access. I think everyone knows that our industry is suffering a lot from basically assets turnover ratios. And basically partnering with networks like Helium and other networks that are not necessarily cellular can bring us much more speed and velocity with a smaller investment to be able to basically adapt our networks in the access to cope with the demand. So for us, this is not a standalone thing that will happen only in Mexico. For us, this is something that we will launch first commercially in Mexico, and we really hope to see the scaling elsewhere outside of Mexico, inside Telefónica operations, and also in other countries where we don't operate, by offering it to other operators. So we do see a lot of potential in bringing Wi-Fi networks such as Helium in closer to the operators so that we can leverage those as access points for the users.
And Mario, how do you see other telecom operators adopting decentralized networks like Helium?
The benefit of Helium network is this cost efficiency, but it's not just that. So the way telecom operator can adopt decentralized network like Helium is to push on the quality of experience. That's why from the ground up, the Helium network actually exposes those statistics of quality of experience metrics so that the operator can be at ease with the user experience that comes to the network, which is a first actually for a decentralized network. Like that's why today we have like more than 60,000 hotspots in the US only. We have nearly 500,000 users that connect from Helium Mobile as well as other US carriers. And all the reason behind is because is the quality of experience metrics that those operators that partner with Helium get as part of the partnership.
And Cesar, what incentives do hotspot owners have for contributing to the Helium network?
I think Helium was the first one to prove before COVID that the model works, simply because miners, people who deploy, actually make money out of that. I think what we need to do now is basically replicating the same and making sure that the Helium network provides the utility through operators like us, so that others have the incentive to actually deploy the coverage to get the data traffic and the revenues in exchange. So I think it's a kind of chicken and egg problem that we have been working in the past incredibly good by Helium, scaling more than 1 million hotspots globally in less than 18 months. And basically what we hope to see is something similar for the Wi-Fi access point, which is basically something much more useful. We do have big hopes that it will work great with regards to scaling the coverage with the current incentive model that Helium has.
And Mario, lastly, how does this partnership position Mexico as a leader in decentralized wireless technology?
Well, absolutely, it's a great proof point for decentralized network to be able to be live in Mexico. I think that with the partnership with Movistar and Telefónica, the network will be able to prove those better coverage and lower cost to serve. And yes, from a point of view leadership, we are also in the US. We have our own carriers called Helium Mobile. And because of those cost efficiency, for example, we are able in the US to offer like a free mobile plan like the one that we announced a couple of weeks ago. Generally speaking, like both US and Mexico are at the forefront. I would not be surprised if we see more of this because, again, it's the benefit to the network operators are pretty clear.
Well, we'll be looking out for that. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today. It was a pleasure speaking with you both.
Thank you, Trinity.
Thank you.